What is up, fellow bench warmers? This is your daily fantasy cookie. Hey guys, what's up? Daily Fantasy Quickie. 3 games late today. My name is JJT with Commish Eric. Commish, Luka versus Steph. That was
today. Luka versus Steph. That's good.
Today. It was a great matchup. I saw the highlights. Some crazy shot creations by both players. I mean, Dallas won. It's a team game, we know, but it's the superstars who win it. And two players who are probably there. I know Luka's not as good when it comes to the fantasy lines because of maybe the percentages, but he's been way better than, I don't think any Luka owner will.
I have a question for you. I know everybody will say Steph is better. Of course, we know that. But given a chance, you can draft right now for the rest of the season. If you own Steph, I think 1 or 2 leagues.
No Steph. Okay, no Steph.
Okay, no Steph. Let's just say you own Steph or you own Luka, and then you're given a fantasy god a choice to change Steph to Luka or Luka to Steph. Would you do it? Would you change Steph to Luka or would you change Luka to Steph? Who would you go for?
I'll probably go for Steph.
Oh, this is that means that's how good Steph has been this year. That Jeremy has chosen Steph Curry this year.
Yes. I think not getting him at least in one league.
It's a mistake.
It's of course because last year I got him in I think 2 or 3 leagues and he was a bit of a disappointment. And usually that's how we managers are, right? We don't like players like Anthony Davis. There will be some managers who will be staying away, right? And then he gives you these numbers, and then you probably look back and say, I should have drafted him and this and that. With us, it's different because we've had so many leagues, and you want to at least experience certain players, right? And that's only one maybe slight regret, not having one Steph. I have one KD, which is good. I'm happy about that. I have a lot of Lamelos. Too many Lamelos, I think. that's the problem for me. Too many Lamelos. I have a couple of Hardens. I think that's a couple too many as well. I could have picked Steph over Harden in one league, right? That is, of course, hindsight looking. But he's been good this year, and I think it can stick.
My Harden, I could have chosen Luka there, and I chose Harden. That's probably it for my season. If I chose Luka can carry me through injuries, And to answer your question, I do have one Steph, but as you know, and all of you know, I did not draft that Steph. That was
that team is probably doing better than others.
Yes, that team is doing well. Although it was Steph Paul George, so it was cancelled out. But still, that Steph team was okay. And I will not take credit for drafting Steph because I also didn't want to draft him. But going forward, I looked at Luka's stats. I was surprised. He's shooting 50% from field this year.
Yeah.
And he's averaging 1.7 steals this year. So all those questions about he's not a good field goal shooter, is very low, doesn't steal, those are not true anymore. He's shooting 73% from the free throw range. That's still true. That's still low. But the other numbers are so good that he's number 9 this year.
Yeah.
Which is really, really good for him.
This is probably
I'll probably go with Luka.
This is the legit Luka that probably managers have been waiting for. We've said it even before. We felt that Luka fits a certain build, right? He starts off with a punt free throw maybe build.
Yeah.
Now maybe not so, right? At 73%, I think that can be salvaged.
Although it's volume, It's volume. That's the volume.
Well, at least you don't really need to hard punt it.
Yeah. I get it.
Not like the Giannis type, right?
But you may win some weeks, but
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
not a
Not
lot of weeks.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
a lot
maybe
of
not.
weeks, but not the hard punt, like fill in all the all the bad free throw shooters type of lineup, right? You can survive
Since
some. I mean, you can beat the Yanis led team,
yeah,
right? That's probably one already,
yeah, yeah.
and maybe some other, a
And
few
we
more,
play head
right?
to head. Yeah, we play head to head. There are days where Lucas like 9 out of 9,
Yeah,
7 out of 8.
and
Now there are weeks where he's like that, right?
and we've played this
And
game long
there are just
enough.
weeks that he's like 2 out of 7.
Yeah. And we played this game long enough wherein sometimes on judgment day, maybe one of your best free throw shooter misses two free throws, three free throws, right?
Yeah.
Your KD suddenly goes 4 out of 6, which is big already for a player like KD, for example, right? So
Mm.
things like those happen. So, 73%, I always feel it's okay. We'll take it. But at least the steals are good. The field goal is a big thing. Like if he shoots 50, maybe he drops off to 49, 48, right? Um, Still good for a guard.
Yeah.
Still good
Still
for a
good.
guard.
And
Yeah.
I just feel like without us, I saw a stat. If he doesn't score 25 points, they lose. I don't know, 80% of the time. Dallas just needs him. They're so desperate they signed Kemba. So I think rest of the season, I'm just more confident that injury or not injured, whatever minor injury is gonna play through it.
Yeah.
I know the records are close, but Steph is not gonna play through any minor injury. The Warriors are not like that. Not like the Mavs. So that's why I choose Luka. But I get your Steph choice also.
Yeah.
I also
So just comment
get that.
there, who would you rather have? Is it Steph or Luka at this point, given the choice to maybe make a pick or redo your draft. We have got news from Karl Anthony-Towns. Weeks. We're talking about weeks. That's good news. The bad news is 4 to 6 weeks, which is a long time as well. Um, four
It looks like the
weeks.
same injury as KD. I hope I'm wrong. It's the same timeline. They didn't say the grade level of the strain. I didn't read it, but 4 to 6 weeks seems like the KD thing. I hope they don't rush him back. I don't want an Achilles tear for Karl Anthony Towns. I'm not saying it'll happen, but it's scary. It's scary. If
Yeah,
I own Towns, even if he comes back in 4 to 6 weeks, I'll be very worried about how healthy that calf would be for the rest of the season.
yeah, and I hope he
Yeah.
doesn't force this. Like, the only difference here between the KD situation and Karl Anthony-Towns, KD was in the playoffs,
Forced it.
right? It
Yeah.
was in the playoffs. It was in the playoffs. And sometimes there's just different treatment when it comes to the playoffs. You can play through certain injuries. You probably
Yeah.
want to be out there and help your team. But this is the regular season. One thing we don't want is a long-term injury. Karl Anthony Towns is what, 26, 27? Very
Yeah.
young player. And Achilles could be a big, big hit for not just his value, but as a player, his prime could take a
Mm-hmm.
you know deep fall if that happens. But yeah, we'll take 4 to 6 weeks. I think that's I in my guess it's gonna be closer to the 6 week, 6 to 8
Me too.
weeks timeline,
Me too.
given how conservative teams are with these types of injuries. six
That
weeks
puts him in
evaluation,
February.
yeah, maybe after the All Star
That
break.
maybe, but well, best case scenario is back January. So I just
Yeah,
said we both don't like that to happen because we feel that would be too early for given the kind of injury he has. So hopefully he doesn't
yeah.
rush it.
And what I'm saying is the teams have been really conservative, especially with these types of players, they're star players, right?
Yeah.
They really won't force it. I don't think they would force it, if it's not 100%
And
for
let's
Cat.
see how they play. Let's see how they play without him. If they play decent enough to be in contention, maybe they won't force it. They
Yeah,
won't be as desperate because they have a deep team. They have a good team. They have a
yeah,
good team even without him.
yeah. So let's see. And Gobert, let's see tomorrow. Very interesting to
Hmm.
see what
Let's
Gobert. I'm
see.
I'm pretty sure every there are two players everyone will be watching tomorrow in Minnesota. Rudy Gobert and Anthony Edwards. How good will Anthony Edwards be? He's been better for the past few games, but let's see if he can consistently carry that momentum. The second one, and probably the biggest, literally the biggest player to watch tomorrow, would be Rudy Gobert. How will he offensively, right? Could he make like
Yeah.
a 15 point, 16-point game wherein he shoots 6 out of 12, 6 out of 7, 6 out of 8, right? Those things we will be on the lookout. There are players who's coming back. Fultz, this is the Orlando. We're gonna talk about the Orlando curse. We don't want to talk about the Orlando Magic anymore because how cursed this team is. But the good news is Fultz, Cole Anthony set to return tomorrow, but Suggs is out. See, they can't get everyone healthy and ready, but Suggs is out. So Fultz and Cole Anthony, how do you like that? Is Suggs though a drop at this point?
Well, he's injured, so that means I would not drop him because there's an IL plus for that. When he comes
No,
back,
but
I'll give him a game or two.
let's put some context as well. Suggs with other players being injured, he's not the only guy. Like if you have like two IL plus slots and you've got four players injured, five players injured, maybe, which some teams might have those. In those cases, do you think Suggs is a drop?
Yes, yes, I think he's a drop. Number one, we don't know his ankle, what kind of injury it is. I really didn't get it in the game. I didn't see it, but that's been how many sprained ankles he already has this year alone. So he doesn't seem to get healthy all the time. So if we really don't have an IELTS plus, I would probably drop him. Plus, of course, I did say I like Suggs more than Fultz, but I do get what Fultz brings to the table. He's a good fantasy player. Well, not good. I should say he has the upside. When you watch him, you know that there's potential in fantasy for Fultz. The steals, the assists, it's
Yeah.
there. It's there. So I don't. The only thing is, I think they will play Fultz mainly at point guard. They'll play Suggs at shooting guard. If that is the case, I like Fultz over Suggs. But if it's like point guard to point guard, I think Suggs is like, better, younger than Fultz. I think I like him there. But I believe that's what they will do. They will play Suggs at shooting guard and have Cole Anthony and Fultz split the point guard. If Suggs is a shooting guard, I don't like him. I don't like him that much. And we
Yeah.
saw it this year. When he was a shooting guard, he wasn't that good. When everybody got injured, he was moved to the point guard. He was okay.
Yeah.
He was better.
Now,
Yeah.
so Fultz is obviously an ad. We talked about that in, I think, a couple of
Yes.
cookies
Yes.
ago. Cole Anthony is a surprise returnee. Really, there was no timetable, and then suddenly yesterday he was reported to be ready to play. Um, Historically, Cole is the better fantasy player among the three, in the sense that
Yeah.
he contributes a lot more. In the sense that he's usually, the numbers are higher, the scoring is higher. Because the other two are always injured, right? Let's put that there as well. So where do you put Cole? Add Cole. How do you if you have
Add Cole. I'll add Cole. As you said, there's been a history. Well, Cole doesn't get respect from fantasy experts. Let's put it at that also, because he's the sort of inefficient guy who has a lot of scores a lot and everything, but turns the ball over, doesn't steal. Field goals bad. All of those things. But he still has been okay. He's had 20-point games, 20, and then different assists and everything. So he can still produce those numbers. I still think that you should add him if he's available. But I don't have any available Cole Anthony in all of my leagues.
yeah.
Either the managers picked him up already or they stashed him or anything. But yeah, you still add him. But I don't believe he's gonna be better than Fultz.
Yeah,
For
fantasy
the next.
wise, I mean, if they both healthy, I think like you said, the potential of what's better. He plays, really nice. Also, the optics. I think I'm not sure if it affects, right? Maybe you can comment this in the comment section. Does a player's how they play up and how they play, like the moves they make, how savvy they are, does that affect our judgment of how a good fantasy player is. Because Fultz moves very smooth. The moves of Fultz
I
very smooth, very effortless. Cole is a little bit more forced. Like you feel like he's a walking turnover. Does that affect your judgment of a
No,
player?
no, not. Maybe judgment of a player in real life, like when you say if this player is good, maybe that affects it. But fantasy wise, no, it doesn't. I look at the numbers more in fantasy than how they look in the court, because numbers are numbers. The way we play fantasy, it's really everything is numbers.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they look bad, their shot looks bad, but if the numbers are there, then you still pick him. With Cole though, it's more flashy, right? He actually, in a way, he's more flashy, he's more athletic, he's faster. So I guess he turns the ball over also because he's like that.
Yeah.
Maybe in a way that affects how you look at him. And also, Cole is not a high pick. It's like 15 or 16, right? Fultz is a first overall pick. So there's still that bias, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, that's good news for hopefully they can stay healthy, because that's all we want
yeah,
from this.
that's the only problem.
Now now they got the Magic got all two of their three guards back, but they also have two out of three centers out.
Out. Yeah.
Right? I mean, Wendell Carter's hurt, Mo Bamba's hurt a bit, although not
Okiki.
major. Okiki's out. I mean,
Okiki's
now their
out.
bigs
Yeah.
are, and of course, what started that was Paulo Banchero, right? Paulo Banchero was our first
Paulo
one
Banchero,
out. Now
yeah.
he's back though. But yeah, it's just a very cursed
And
team.
that answers the question: who will play if everybody's healthy? There's Isaac, there's Okiki, there's Dave,
No, they're
there's
never
that.
gonna be
They have Cole,
healthy.
they have Cole, they have Suggs, and then everybody has their own opinion. I think they'll do this, I think they'll do that. And the answer is like they don't ever have to worry about
Worry.
what they'll do. nobody's gonna. Cause I did mention that the entry of Fultz and Suggs and Cole Anthony is bad for, let's say, Franz Wagner, Bol, because I was thinking if Suggs plays shooting guard, Franz Wagner starting at shooting guard, they will at least eat into his minutes. He can't play at small forward because Bol is there. And, Paolo is stuck at power forward already. We know that. And then center, there's Wendell Carter and Bamba. So it's just bad for everybody, I said. But as you said, now that you mentioned that,
Yeah.
that's
Bol's now moving
never
to
been
center.
everybody.
Bol's now moved to center.
Yeah.
I mean, Banquero's in power forward now.
Exactly.
Franz Wagner. I'm not sure if they're gonna start both Fultz and Cole at the same time. But last year, I think Fultz came off the bench, so probably they'll do the same thing, right? Cole starting, Fultz comes off the bench. But
They'll
both,
start Harris. Gary
yeah,
Harris.
yeah, they might.
Yeah.
Or Ross
They're
or whoever.
already starting him. They're already starting him. So I think they're going to just continue to start him.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do.
And last year, that's what they did. Started Cole,
Yes.
Fultz come off the bench. Both, though, could be fantasy relevant or very fantasy relevant. Not the high-end type of players, but yeah, still good. Just quickly, Bojan and Isaiah Stewart returned as well. So good news. I mean, Bojan in particular. Bojan played, right?
Yes, he started. Isaiah started. And I just mentioned this because it's the rotation is whack. Everybody got 15 to 18 minutes. Alec Burks got 16. Corey Joseph got 20, I think. And then Jalen Duran got 17. It's not good for everybody there. Sadiq Bey got 18 minutes off the bench.
Yeah.
So I think Bey is a drop. I think actually all of those Pistons, I would probably just keep Ivy, Stewart maybe, and Bojan. Maybe those three. Bagley still starting. So Bagley. Those players probably.
Surprisingly, he's also rosterable back at this point.
Yeah, he's actually top 70 per average this year.
For all the criticisms he's got.
Yeah. And I looked at it why it is, because the 3-pointers are there now. And then he's
last
averaging
game,
almost
he had like a
double-double.
three block game,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
yes.
Surprising.
But it's not sustainable. I just answer it right away. I don't think it's sustainable.
All right. That's it, guys, for today's quickie. And like we said, we're gonna try to commit to a real daily fantasy quickie. As always, please subscribe, please follow us, and hope you enjoy this. To See you guys again tomorrow for more fantasy basketball discussions. Bye, guys.